A busy time in Washington, D.C. these days, so we're glad that Congressman John Katko has found a few minutes to join us now. Congressman Katko, thank you so much for being with us. We'll try to get to as much as we can here.
Well, I'm happy to be here. I snuck into a conference room here in the Capitol. It's pretty cool, as you can see, so yeah, it's okay.
Looks beautiful. All right, let's get to this. Very early this morning, the Senate passed a budget bill that would pave the way for a COVID relief package. House just did it. You voted against that, so it's not the COVID package, but why'd you vote that way, for starters?
Well, it's a $1.9 trillion package, and they did it without any sort of input from the Republican side. It's not a protest vote. It's just $1.9 trillion for the budget, and we really don't know anything about it. So now what's going to happen is that money that goes back to all the respective committees, and then they formulate a budget from that setting with a $1.9 trillion parameter. That's a tremendous amount of money we're putting on our kids, and so I'm concerned about it. But nevertheless, we'll see what happens going forward. Let's see what's in the budget. Let's see what we can do to get COVID relief and get things moving forward in a bipartisan manner, I hope.
I was going to ask you, too. I mean, probably too early. You want to read the bill itself, but it seems like it's going to include direct aid to local governments, stimulus checks to people. Is that something I know you got the devil's always in the details, but that's something you could support?
I've always supported that. In fact, with the Problem Solvers Caucus, which I'm a senior member of, we came up with packages this summer and this fall, both of which included substantial money for state and local governments, which I think we need. And I think we need to get the money directly to the local governments so that the governor can't pick the winners and losers. And I think we just get it right to the local governments, and they need it. They need it badly. It's not because of fiscal malfeasance. They should get that money because they did what the Centers for Disease Control told them to do and shut down the economy. And so because of that, I think they need to get some help, and we need to help them get back on their feet and get this economy back on its feet.
People are going to hear about this, and they're going to automatically jump to, when do I get my check? A lot of stuff, a lot of work still to do. I mean, a check, if that does come, we talking March, earlier than that, later than that? What do you think?
I would suspect it's going to come in a not-too-distant future. I mean, it's incumbent upon us to get a budget set and to get the legislation done. So my suspicion is that it'll come sooner rather than later. All
right. Last evening, the House did something that is extremely rare. It voted to strip freshman Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene of some key committee assignments. For those who are unaware, I can't imagine you would be, but she's had some racist, Islamophobic, anti-Semitic things. She's touted conspiracy theories, doubting 9/11, school shootings, whether they're even real. You voted with 10 other Republicans to remove her from her committee post. Why'd you vote that way?
Well, first of all, I'll say I didn't enjoy taking the vote, and I wish the Democrats didn't force us to take this vote, because down the road they're opening the door for us to do the same thing if we get back in the majority. But that being said, I didn't have that luxury of deciding anything other than what was before me. And what was before me was everything you said and more. And a lot of these comments did not come to light until after she got into office. So I had to look at that and say, look, there's no place in this country for leaders to be anti-Semitic or have anti-Semitic comments and advance conspiracy theories that the Parkland school shooting wasn't real or that the Holocaust wasn't real, things like that. There's no place for that. And I hope we don't do that. I hope she learns from it. I hope we all do, and I hope we never have to take another vote like that again.
So shouldn't if you said you wish the Democrats didn't have to do it, shouldn't the Republicans have taken care of it so that the Democrats didn't have to make this move?
There's no question we should have. There's absolutely no question about that. But since we didn't, I think that that's what happened. I think leadership made a tactical decision that if they didn't take Ms. Greene off her committees, then much more likely that that side of our conference would leave Liz Cheney alone for being a leader of the conference, but also voting for impeachment. And so that was a Hobson's choice, I guess. I'm not the leader. I disagreed with it, but here we are, and we just got to move on from here. We've got a lot of work to do for American people, and I think they're much more interested in hearing about what we're doing in a bipartisan manner than they are this nonsense.
And how about this, I-81? I know the senators, I know Mayor Walsh, I know you've reached out to new Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg. You're hearing anything back? Is he coming here? What are you hearing from his office?
Well, he certainly got a lot of invites, and I think the idea that we all have collectively and individually is to get this on the national map as a priority. And I've done that with legislation already a couple of years ago where I had 81 and through Syracuse area designated a high priority corridor, which means it's going to get priority in funding. Getting the Secretary of Transportation to come up here and see for himself and then prioritize it even more is going to do nothing but benefit us. And that's what we're all advancing that, and I hope he does come up here.
Yeah, I know the mayor says he has a meeting with his office in a week or two, so hopefully you'll be able to host him for a visit here. Congressman Katko, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks so much. You take care.